My friend here, his name is Sang. So Sang is a realtor. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor. He also is the one that's been responsible for us picking up multiple listings here in the Sarasota area. This is going to be very helpful for you all, is because when it comes to getting Airbnb listings, you find a good agent, a good property management company, good realtor. When you find one of them that's really good, they are worth their weight in gold. You'll never have to do another 10 a day again. And why? Because saying they're gonna have great connections to people who trust them, people who are looking for them to come to the table, bring someone to the table that is responsible, is gonna take care of their place, and someone they don't have to worry about is gonna flip their life upside down, right? Just to rent their place. If someone's looking to establish a great relationship with a realtor or an agent, what would they do?
For us to start a connection, first is to build a trust. Trust is the main key. And then how you present yourself. What I look for is their needs, that way I can find a solution to help them.
It's about establishing a relationship. He's looking for the ability to establish a relationship with someone who he can trust. You say someone you can trust, what do you look for?
Reliability. It's just they just want your time. Then they don't want to give you their time. They just want to get some out of you. There's a lot of those too.
You can smell those a mile away. Huh?
Yeah.
Why is time so important to you?
Time you can never get back. Time you can never get back, but money you could trade for time.
Time you can never get back, but money you could trade for time. Yeah, we made, a couple $1 million or so last year. I am so glad that I did not get to keep all that money. Because if I got to keep all that money, that means I would have had to trade all my time to keep all that money. I don't want all that money. I want to make sure you guys, my students, like different people, my team, they're getting some of that money too. Because if they're getting it, then there's a lot of stuff I do not have to do. What do you think people are looking for with you?
If they're looking to work with me, pretty much I ask 3 simple questions. It's like, what is your need? What is your time frame? And how much you're looking to spend. You ask enough questions to know what they want.
What should they be looking for in a realtor in order for them to find and establish a great relationship?
You see a lot of realtor that does like buy, or just get this without understanding what you want, what you need. That's a no-no. You have to pretty much have lunch with the person, talk to them, see how they act, how they feel. Are they trustworthy? And then you get the vibe when you speak to them. And then but most realtors, they just want the money, and then you call them, never pick up. I'm all about repeating customers, building a relationship. That's why over the past 4 or 5 years I haven't advertised. I still don't. I just word of mouth advertisement, and that's the best.
And like you say, he doesn't have to advertise. It's about the relationship. Remember what I told you? I told you I teach this and I teach this. The reason why people give you these places is not because you're going to be the best business person in the world. It ain't because you got the greatest credit in the world. It's not because you got the most money in the world. It's going to be because what?
They trust you.
They trust you, and they what? Like you. When it comes to short-term rentals. How has that changed over the last few years?
It's taken over, because we'd be renting Airbnbs and VRBOs. It's just, you get better service than the hotel, because you get a kitchen. You put like 2-3 families and you split the cost. It's actually cheaper than staying at a hotel.
How easy is it to have an Airbnb somewhere like Mexico, and I live in Florida, and having those connections where you can trust, you can meet trusted property managers.
Automation, remember, is not just technology, people, money. Automation is a combination of all those things working together. If you're talking about Mexico and you're looking at having a place down in Mexico, you got to have somebody down there that has the ability to oversee your stuff. And I'll give you a great example. One of our students, Sydney, she was living here in Tampa, and she had a place. Her place was, when she was here in Tampa, her place was operating at like 90, 95% occupancy. She moved back to New York, Western New York, because her grandma fell ill and she wanted to be there for grandma. And so she hired a cleaner and she left. So 95% occupancy to now her occupancy dropped to like 70, 60, 50%. And I'm talking literally in weeks, just a few weeks. She couldn't figure it out. She was getting horrible reviews, couldn't figure it out because the cleaner said everything was fine. Well, then my son, Chris, said, you know what? I'm going to go check out your place because this don't make no sense. He went over, he checked out the place. It was a disaster. You had guests in there who were smoking, drinking. They were making all the other guests uncomfortable. They were acting like this place was theirs. My son was like, you gotta go. What he had to do is do a whole revamp of the place. She went from 50, 60% back up to 85, 90, 90+%. Her stuff is booked constantly now, nonstop. So it's got to be about someone that you trust first and foremost. That's the reason why we have teams in these locations that we have. How do you think I'm able to do this stuff, Denise? Like we got 100+ listings all over the country. Now we're in Jamaica. So you got to have someone that you trust that can oversee, that can clean properly. And then you got to have others who you can trust, who can get your places set up. You don't have to be the one doing all that stuff. Someone else that you trust that knows how to help you with optimization. If you're going to do something like that in Mexico, first and foremost, you got to make sure you find someone you trust.
Speaking to realtors, a lot of them get commission from sales and they're not interested in anything else. And do they get commission from renting out a place as well? Or how does that work? Chang, what was it that motivated you? Okay, well, I can start doing this for him.
Rentals is, as long as you're the listing agent, then you get, it depends on what you negotiate with pretty much the landlord. So normally I get half a month, and then whatever amount of percent, 5 to 10, depending on how I negotiate with the landlord. But normally when you refer, you take somebody there, you get like 100, 200. So that's why a lot of realtors, they really don't want to waste their time taking people around for couple $100. Look straight for the listing agent, call them directly and deal with them directly. Because you have the middle guy working for 100, 200, he's not going to do a good job.
Does it matter how far from town the Airbnb is located? Because I heard somebody said you don't want to be too far from the airport, like maybe 30 minutes from the airport. Because if the person get off, be on the airplane, the person might not don't want to be driving too far. So I'm just wondering, does it matter really?
Every location is different. You gotta do your homework. So every location is different. But for Florida, it doesn't really matter. For Florida, pretty much the whole state is a vacation state. You don't want to be in the middle of nowhere, like 2 hours away, from stores and stuff. As long as there's a Publix 10, 15 minutes down the street, you'll be okay. Because if they're looking to travel, they're going to look for all over the place. So they might be looking for the river this time. They might look for the ocean next time. They might look for the hills next time. So it depends. There's a Publix or there's a Walmart down the street, you'll be okay. Doesn't really matter from the airport.
Airbnb is the largest hospitality company in the world. It's a $100 billion company because it doesn't own any property. Do you realize Airbnb owns no property? They just got started 15 years ago. How did they get there? Why am I even mentioning it? Because it has a lot to do with that question that you just asked. What if it's near here, near there, near there? The reason why Airbnb got to be successful as they are is the same reason that Google and Facebook and YouTube. It is because of what? That $1 billion algorithm. That algorithm knows how to reach people. And when you come on that platform, if you go to Google and you looking at, how many times y'all go on Google, you would talk about something to your husband or your wife or your daughter or your son or your friend yesterday. Next thing you know, you look on your phone and then that thing that you were talking about is right there. That's the artificial intelligence at work. And so when you have a place and you understand how to optimize and play the game the way Airbnb wants you to play it, they're going to send your places out to all the people, not just the people in your town. We don't care about the people in our town. Why? Because people in our town, they can't stay at our places. But only people who are interested in staying in your area, potentially in your place. So when you do that properly, if you got a place that's an hour away from the airport, guess what? There are people who want to stay in that place. There's people all over the world. You only need one person to stay. They're reaching out to tens of thousands of people all over the world that want to stay in your place that are traveling. So keep that in mind, that you don't want to think local, you want to think global. Just know that if it's anywhere near civilization, you're probably gonna be good, right? You're probably gonna be good. All right.